Teachers are bombarded by a vast number of instructional strategies, educational programs, and technologies to choose from. It may be overwhelming to evaluate each and decide which to implement in your classroom. Response to intervention has a research base of over 20 years. A plethora of studies have demonstrated its effects with many different populations, including students at risk of learning disabilities, behavior problems, low socioeconomic status, as well as English language learners and French second language students. Hi, I'm Julia Ferrari. I'm an expert on learning disabilities and education at the LD Institute, and I'm passionate about ensuring that students with LDs reach their full potential. Today, I'm going to discuss response to intervention, or RTI. I'm going to give you an overview of what it is and how it can help you meet your students' needs. What is RTI? RTI begins with high-quality instruction and universal screening of all children in the general education classroom. Struggling learners are provided with intervention at increasing levels of intensity in order to accelerate their rate of learning and help them to catch up with their peers. Individual students' progress is closely monitored to assess both the learning rate, how quickly are students acquiring a certain skill, and the level of performance, how students compare to their peers or to established benchmarks. Educational decisions about the intensity and duration of interventions are based on individual students' response to instruction. This means that decisions are based on the data. RTI is made up of 4 interconnected components: data-based decision-making, universal screening, a multi-tier prevention system, and progress monitoring. Data-based decision-making. Data analysis and decision-making occur at all levels of RTI implementation and instruction. We need to use screening and progress monitoring data to make decisions about instruction and movement within the multi-level prevention system. Decisions made regarding students' instructional needs are based on multiple data points taken in context over time. Universal screening. Universal screening is conducted to identify or predict students who may be at risk for poor learning outcomes in reading, writing, math, as well as problem behaviors. Typically, all students at a grade level or class are assessed 3 times per year: in the fall at the beginning of the year, winter in the middle of the year, and spring at the end of the year. Those who score below a certain cut point or percentile are identified as at risk and would be candidates for further assessment and intervention. Keep in mind that the purpose of these assessments is in no way diagnostic. Rather, it is to gather information about students in order to plan effective instruction. Multi-tier approach. The multi-tier system is usually represented by a pyramid. The model incorporates increasing intensity of instruction, offering specific research-based interventions matched to students' needs. Tier 1 is at the bottom of the pyramid. At this level, students receive high-quality, evidence-based instruction as part of the core curriculum in the regular classroom. This is the largest tier, which means that the majority of students, 80 to 90%, should be able to excel with this level of instructional support. Tier 2 is the middle tier of the pyramid. At this level, in addition to the core curriculum, students receive targeted intervention in their areas of need. We would expect that 5 to 10% of students need this extra level of support in order to succeed. Tier 3 is the smallest tier at the top of the pyramid. Approximately 1 to 5% of students need this extra level of support. At this level, students receive intensive, individualized support in the areas in which they struggle. Progress monitoring. Progress monitoring provides information about a student's learning rate and the level of achievement, both individually and in comparison to peers. Usually, progress monitoring is implemented with individual students who have been identified as at risk based on previous screening. With progress monitoring data, we can figure out whether students are meeting short and long-term goals and tailor instruction in order to meet students' individual needs. What is the purpose of RTI? Early intervention. RTI facilitates early intervention and maximizes student achievement. Through the implementation of RTI, we can ensure students receive the level of intervention they need in order to succeed. In fact, students needing extra support can receive it as early as kindergarten or grade 1, which can result in better long-term outcomes. For example, less need of special education services, higher rates of high school graduation, less joblessness, and fewer mental health problems. Inadequate instruction. RTI can differentiate between two explanations for low achievement: inadequate instruction or a disability. If a child responds poorly to instruction that benefits most students, the quality of instruction is probably not to blame for the child's low achievement. However, if the majority or more than 80% of students are at risk or struggling, this would call into question the adequacy of instruction at all three tiers. RTI can help you meet the diverse needs of your students. Although it is preferable if the entire school participates in the implementation, you can implement components of RTI in your own classroom to support your students. For more information about tiered instruction, please check out our videos on each of the three tiers.